Okay, I was just told there was no video, so hopefully there's video now. Oh, the light came on over the chicken, which is that big white spot. Okay, we'll move away from there. Those of my mate Larry, who's, I mean, he's sort of like, he understands all these things. He was just on the phone to me knowing it had cut me off to tell me that there was no video. So hopefully, if there's no video, again, if he's got the patience to sit at, you know, if he's still sitting at home watching this, I hope the video's back. He said it wasn't on Ustream, and he said it wasn't on at Isaan Live. So, I mean, if it's not on Ustream, it'll probably be gone for sure. Unless, I don't know, it looks like there's still a few people, whoa, few people watching. So, I hope you're seeing something, folks, because if you're not, you're missing all the fun. And for those of you that may have joined us late, we're here at Khon Kaen, Menunua restaurant. We're sitting outside because there's not much going on inside. Khon Kaen is 3.8 kilometers or 3,800 meters around the thing. And it's a social place. It's so a lot of us old folks out exercising in the morning. And there's some guys, I mean, there's a retired policeman out here that gets on the parallel bars. And it's like the guy, I mean, I think he's 2 years older than me, but wow, he's really cool. And the trouble with the bung that people are having is a lot of these kids from technical schools, and I kind of wondered about it, and somebody was telling me, because the old people get worried because they're on drugs, and there's not supposed to be motorcycles on the bung. And there are, and they get going around it really fast, and people get scared. And I mean, sometimes kids are hurt, sometimes parents are hurt, but nobody wants to. It's like every place in the world, you think it's different, you know, and but it's not. So when you're in Thailand, you know, even in Isaan, mind yourself, because you really don't know sometimes who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, and stuff like that. So, whoops, somebody, do we have a customer coming into Menunua? No. Nobody coming into Menunua. Nice. I guess there were some people in at lunchtime. But when nobody even stops to buy a chicken, I mean, since I've been here, which is, well, I don't know now because we rebooted, but for a while, it's a strange evening. I mean, the Gayang is usually 120 baht, and the chickens have got no breasts to speak of. So the Gaimon, the chicken she has here, they come from someplace special, and they're really quite good. And 150 baht, you've got, you know, Thai-wise, you can feed 3 or 4 people quite easy with one of these. And it's the only trouble here, as I said earlier, for those of you who had tuned in late, is you know, I could go to the other restaurant and I can get a half a gayang for 60 baht, which is, I mean, that's a lot of food for me. And for Thais, it's 2 people. You know, it's 2 people. Here we go. Is somebody stopping to get a chicken? We don't know. Or is he just stopping? It's an old Merc, an old sort of baby shit yellow Merc. Anyhow, where was I? I don't know. And more people. I really don't understand what's going on next door either, and that's sort of a rhetorical question. And I have a lot of rhetorical questions, and they're still going. The trouble with the bung when it gets dark, or the trouble with a lot of places in Thailand, is street lights and things like that aren't always maintained. I periodically post about the Thaisaban, is the city government, and in the Thaisaban there's a number of people, and then there's sort of the Nayop, Taisaban, sort of his lordship, the mayor. The Taisaban actually does a lot of good shit, but they actually collect one hell of a lot of money in rents and various and sundry other things. So they take more in than they collect, and they really don't maintain the things that would be really nice if they maintain. There goes security for someplace. And yeah, it's sort of, we're kind of winding down to, everybody stopped, picked up the food for dinner, heading home to their 3.5 children. Khon Kaen, for those of you who haven't, I mean, TAT is kind of big on promoting. They promote, you know, the Pullman Hotel and the center of town there, the Kosa, especially the Kosa, the food court or whatever in front of the Kosa is got to be one of the biggest rip-offs here in Khon Kaen. The food is very, very expensive, and it's very, very Whereas Khon Kaen is sort of the food capital of Isaan. From Chinese food, winter, this is duck time of year, so I will be sticking my head in a duck restaurant soon. Even though Larry and I stopped at the Duck and Dim Sum place across from the Khon Kaen Hotel the other day, and that's worth a visit if you want some duck and dim sum. But Isaan food, Thai food, Chinese food, this is the place, you know. And if you want to learn about it, there's people that teach you. For you, I'm sorry, here I go again, but for you travel bloggers who are already experts on all forms of food around the world, obviously nobody can teach you, and I enjoy reading and learning about Somtam from you. And all the other one, another one I ran into a problem on is there's lap, and there's a number of different types of lap, but there's a type of lap that's not chopped up, and it's known as nam tok, waterfall beef, waterfall whatever. And somebody kept saying lap, and I can't be polite on that rare occasion, was trying to explain that it was called, and I got harangued and comments from places by about 100 travel bloggers that I was a drunken expat and didn't know what I was talking about, and all these kind of things. And I just go, yeah, well, thank you. And another great one before we go off the air soon is somebody was explaining to me that Isaan is often called the Isaan, and which is really hilarious, because what happens is Westerners, especially uneducated Thais, start explaining to them that no, because the article "the" does not exist in Thai. So people say they go toilet, they go, and Westerners explain to them that no, you say I go to the toilet, or I go to the school, or I go to the restaurant. And Thais, being gullible, listen to these plunkers. So then they begin saying, I go to the Isaan, I go to the Khon Kaen, I go to the Udon, I go to the Bangkok. So then travel bloggers then explain to me that yes, it's called, you know, they've heard from Thai friends that it's called the Isaan. So, you know, if you're going to listen to these things, or if you're going to read my blogs, or if you're going to, you know, listen to the podcasts, on occasion I am going to go on about, you know, travel bloggers, and I think it's called SEO, you know, whatever that is, because I don't really have a clue about most of these things. And I just hope, you know, I hope people who are watching now, and I hope people who watch later, enjoy these. I want, you know, I've been promoting Isaan now for 12 years. Thousands upon thousands of photographs, over 1,200 blog posts, and Isaan Life now, which is really, thanks a million, Larry. It's really cool. It Larry does Khon Kaen Retirement, by the way, which I think is Khon Kaen WS or whatever. I'll correct it because all of that. But he's a favorite of the people at Tourism Authority of Thailand because he appreciates just how much the Tourism Authority of Thailand screws everything up here in Thailand. Here in Thailand. But he's been, I mean, the past year, bit over a year, everything he's done for Isaan Live has been absolutely remarkable. And the website itself, which brings together all the blogs, brings together YouTube, brings together all the shit in Picasa and everything else. I mean, it looks frighteningly professional, which is why people know I didn't do it. But that's actually, I think it's khonkaen.ws for Western Samoa. Don't ask me, ask him. But and I mean, we've been here. Southeast Asia Time started longer than over 12 years ago now. On March 17th, 12 plus years ago, is SoutheastAsiaTimes.com, and then became Isaan-Life.com. It still is. I've still got all these URLs, and then became Isaan-Live.com, which is, I mean, whenever I look at it, I'm just totally amazed that whatever. It was artificial insemination. But people in Isaan, I mean, like this morning walking around the bung, people waving, saying hi to people. This evening, not many people to talk to, but there is a brand new big Mercedes going down the road. There is plenty to see. I mean, if it was the same thing every night, I guess maybe for a lot of people it would get kind of boring. And like the podcast, I am going to try to mix it up a bit. And but like the end of the day, there's a guy that does, I forget the website, Thailand something. And I'll try and remember to give him a plug next time because he's a nice guy. And or I don't know who he is. Once again, I say, whatever. But anyhow, he made a couple comments about the podcast that were really quite helpful and things people are actually interested in. So, Twitter to me is the greatest place because, everybody's there. People interact, people talk a lot, and but I try when I get an email and stuff like that to respond to it. Let people know, because I mean, if there's nobody watching the damn thing, I'm even stupider than and in the past, the Thai floods, and the floods up here, excuse me, were a real kick in the rear end to help readership. But the one thing I did is I posted the truth. Richard Barrow. And I've never met Richard Barrow, and all the stuff he does. And I mean, everything he does is absolutely brilliant. But, there's got to be a dozen of the guys, for those of you who know who he is. Or just do a search for Richard Barrow, and he's got, a quadzillion blogs, and he's always kind of everywhere. And 99% of the stuff he does is brilliant. Here in Isaan, I forget the guy's name that does the Thai Report out of Ubon. Cool, some great stuff. I mean, this guy is really. I mean, if you're interested in the Ubon area, and I got a link to it, on the website. The guy that does Thai Report is great. Hans up in Khon Kaen at Khon Kaen Live, I think it is. His stuff, he covers it. He really covers football up there, but. He knows the area. His maps are good, and he keeps up with what's going on, and that's what's important. Actually, I wish there were more people in Isaan that sort of chipped in a bit and kicked in and help let people know, because people come up here and they're clueless. I mean, I know people that came up here a few months ago and were asking about stuff, and they went to the Dinosaur Museum in Puyang, and I was saying, go to the Dinosaur Museum in Galveston, up in Sahatsakan, it's much better. But, you know, there you go again. Tepsoda Bridge, there was another guy, I forget, he's a Twitter guy, and I gave him some information about, about the area. And it's great getting a tweet from somebody that's at some place that you recommended and they're having a good time. So that was kind of cool. And whatever, got to be getting. I got half a beer left, so I'll keep talking if y'all don't mind. And if I see it goes to zero or whatever, I'll probably I'll shut up then. I don't mind talking to myself, and occasionally talking to myself is one of the few people I can win an argument with. But holding your phone. Wait, this could be a customer coming over to Menonua. Actually, almost getting run over by a big Nissan Tiana, and looking at me like I'm a complete idiot, and going in the door and ordering something. Mr. Wee is taking care of it. The rest of the staff is asleep. But no, Isaan, there's a million places to go in Isaan. There's great, if you really want, you want to enjoy the food, you want to enjoy the people. Yeah, no place is perfect, but it's beats the shit out of central Thailand. And if you're interested in history, here, I run into a Nubo Sot, which is a building in a Wat. It's over 130 years old, and it's someplace where 130 years ago they didn't have roads. But the river was the way that people travel, and it is on the river. And that whole history in Thap Phnom and the history there is well worth the it's amazing. It's really, really unbelievable. If you're into nightlife, it's not the Bangkok nightlife, it's not the Pattaya nightlife, it's not the Phuket nightlife. But when you can go out, large beers, beer chung generally is 55, 60 baht, large ones. Leo's just gone up because the price of Leo has just gone up, but you generally get it for 70 baht, a large bottle. Here at Thai places, you always pay for ice because a lot of Thais bring their own bottles, and that's how places make money. But it's not, at some places it's unreasonable. In some places, and like the Roma Hotel and the restaurant, the Sorrento restaurant, which I really used to like, it used to be a great place. And what they used to do is they bring you your ice, and they went from ice, wait a minute, here, I can show you. They went from ice like this, big pieces of ice, to crushed ice because it melts faster. And they'd bring you your ice like about 5 minutes before your beer came, and your ice wouldn't last as long as one beer. And the prices kept going up, and it got kind of rude and obnoxious, so, they get plenty of Thai business, and they do weddings, and they do all that kind of stuff. But that's the way it is. People worry about, well, I don't speak Thai, or I don't know Thai. In areas like Khon Kaen, which is basically, it's a middle class area. There's a lot of school teachers that live around here. Like Menonua here is a local place. And there's school teachers and government people, and people speak a bit of English. Or, if you see a chicken, you can point at a chicken. If you see, like the fish is not hot. And if you tell people, not hot, they're pretty good. And stuff like you're not going to starve to death. And the hotels down here at the Bung, the Ganyarat and B&B, and a couple of them, the Ganyarat, which people say is quite nice. I think it's 700-800 baht a night. The B&B across the Bung is, I think, 550 or 600 baht a night. There's a couple of places, and they're great value. And most of them have internet connections. And to me, I need an internet connection when I'm someplace. so that I can update, can blog, can do all this other kind of crap. But most people don't really, you know, I mean, I don't really need it, but I want to post because I live for the people who read my posts. And if you believe that, I do have a bridge for sale. Actually, I have two. One in Mukta. Actually, now I have three. One in Mukdahan, one in Nakhon Phanom, and the original in Nong Khai. So, but it's the people up here have been great to me, and that's the way it is here in Isaan. And I'm an old guy living someplace where people respect old guys, and it's kind of nice. You know, it's a good place to come and, you know, eventually be up in smoke in Isaan. It's sort of, you know, that's where it all ends. You go up in smoke in Isaan. It's kind of cool. Traffic's starting to die out. Oh, more people walking by. All I gotta do is, I hope this whole thing is working, and I'm going to try and do Songkran here again, because last year, I mean, tons of people enjoyed the posts, but now this, if I can do posts live from here at World Headquarters at Menu Nua, you know, you people, and people with restaurants, you know, you'll be able to partake in Songkran.